As a day trader, have you taken a specific look into the actual indicators that you have loaded to your charts, and then possibly even the strategy that you're using? Because not all strategies work. I'm going to simply say that right now. There are tons and tons of things that are being posted online on the internet in ways in which people proclaim to actually be trading or actually trading or using, right? The thing about it is that you have to find a system that's going to work for you. And I would definitely, when you are, in the process of trying to find something that does work, quickly back test and forward test that strategy that you may think, hey, this seems to be what I need, to see if it's going to work for you. That means going back maybe in market replay, okay, on your trading platform, and seeing if that strategy is actually going to work, and how often. Is there a level of consistency that in which over a period of time the strategy is actually working for you? What indicators, what tools are you using just as well, or maybe part of that actual strategy? I'm going to say this because I truly believe wholeheartedly and firmly on this, because when I first started trading, I'm going to tell you now, I traded and tried about every indicator that any trading platform could possibly actually offer. And I'm not saying that they may not guide or help you long term, but as far as giving you a signal to actually get into a trade, I would not place a lot of dependence on a trading indicator, okay? Maybe as a tertiary tool, which means that using it as or for a means of second or third to the actual strategy you're actually using. Your strategy should be the golden rule, should be the holy grail in which allows you to, make money from, right? So one of the major concepts or most important concepts that I could say when it comes to trading is learn market structure. For anyone that's watching this as a beginner, I'm going to talk about today the actual tools or indicators that I use in the strategy when it comes to trading the ES futures or even maybe the NASDAQ. You can use the same strategy trading the micro versions of the indices or indexes, like the E-mini S&P 500 or the NASDAQ 100 just as well, okay? Now, first and foremost, what you'll see most times on my charts are what's loaded to the right-hand side is volume profile. Why? Because volume is extremely important. I've covered videos talking about the volume profile and how I use it as an indicator here on my specific channel. Okay, very simple. I don't like to overcomplicate things in reference to my own personal trading strategy and what I actually use. When I first started trading, the first 2 years into trading, I was using everything because I figured that, hey, if I find the right indicator or tool, that it would allow me to become profitable. Little did I know that 2 years after that, showing or where I was basically, profiting and losing. I'm sure a lot of you are experiencing that as well, because a lot of people just spend a lot of time and looking for indicators of something that may work or purchasing those. Please, guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, stop. I would personally say stop trying to find the holy grail indicator because there really isn't one. Focus in on structure. Focus in on, if you want to, order flow, things of those nature. You can learn how to trade directly from a naked chart. When I say that, I mean just put the candles on your chart, candlesticks, or bars. Like me, I trade range bar charts, and just study the market that way. Study the behavior, the movement, the flow, the structure point breaks of what the market is really trying to do. All right, and get that right first. You cannot, what happens when you start loading up a bunch of charts with indicators and tools, it starts to become over just complicated. You're putting, it's over inundated with too many things going on, and you're having to look at this, and then by the time you enter a trade, you're either too late and the market's coming back against you. But without further ado, let me talk about the strategy, the tools I actually use, like specifically here on the ES futures. Now, I trade range bar charts, and this is what has allowed me to become profitable, successfully profitable, and make money in my own personal trading career, okay? Now, I'm going to make this as simple, okay, because trading is not complex, but you have to use top-down analysis, meaning look at a higher chart. Whether you're trading time charts or range charts, whatever it may be. I'm telling you right now, the two are not comparable, meaning you're not going to, they're going to look different. Range charts aren't going to look like time-based charts because they're calculated differently, okay? So I'm just going to say that right now because people always ask me, what is a 5-minute chart in comparison to the, whatever range chart you're using? There's no comparison, okay? So you've got to get the structure correct, okay? All that is looking at a chart, naked chart, and figuring out what is the market really doing overall. You can see that if you just kind of bring things in and focus, highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows here, right? We're breaking structure higher. We got this dip to the downside. This is the deep retracement. Market breaks more structure. It takes out a major high right there, okay? And then it makes a new high here. And then we get this decent pullback, okay? But you got to ask yourself, at some point, the market may potentially reverse, right? Here's the reversal part where it comes down. Lows, lower highs, lows, lower highs, lows coming down, right? And it creates off this major high, it creates a major low right there. The market goes back up, making higher highs and higher lows. And then basically the market moves in waves. So you have to wait to see what it's going to do because it could have eventually just went back up here and broke down lower. Here it's making higher highs and higher lows back to the upside. And then it comes down and it breaks this area of structure. I always like to look at my higher base charts first, okay? And I mark up my zones off of my higher base charts. Again, we're looking here at the ES futures. This is the E-mini S&P 500, all right? Again, you can do the same looking at the micro version of this. I, again, figure out the direction. We are major high, breaking structure lower, pulling back, nice wave movement where it's making higher highs and higher lows back to the upside, and then it takes out this major low, all right? At that point, I'm going to try to find an opportunity to mark off a supply area because now the market is really pushing down to the downside and we have bearish movement from when we had bullish movement to the upside. Now we're very bearish. Okay. So we broke structure below this major low here. And then this is my supply area here. Aggressive selling to the downside. We took out this area structure right here, which was a major low. So I'm going to look for the market to pull back to this key area of supply, mark it up on my higher chart, and then move down to a lower chart, okay? When I'm trading the ES futures, it's going to be on the 12 range chart. So I go from a 60 range, higher range chart to a lower range, 12 range chart, all right? That's what the chart I use when I'm looking for my when I'm actually scaling down to find a more refined approach to go short. The market is now bearish to the downside, so I'm looking for opportunity on a pullback to continue with the movement of the higher range chart. Now, before I do that, I want to look at this zone in specific, okay? What tool helps me to figure out where I could possibly trade from, but also I use it as a means of confluence, the volume profile. This is a volume profile. As you can see right here to the right-hand side, when the market pulls back to it, I don't like to take trades at the zones of interest, like supply and demand zones, when it's right butting up against a high volume node, all right, a major area of volume. I like to trade if I'm going short on the outer edges, okay, of a high volume area because the market likes to test low volume areas and then basically move right back to a high volume area because it's comfortable there. Okay, there's a lot of volume, a lot of transactions taking place there. Okay, so and it's a means of protection for price in a sense. Okay, so the market pulls back to this key area of supply right here. We're right above a high volume area. On my higher range chart, I'm going to mark up the supply zone. I got multiple confluence there. Okay, supply area, high probability. There's a gap attached to the actual zone itself. We're right above a high volume area. See that massive volume area there on the outer edge there? That's the zone. Now what I'll do is I'll just move down to my lower range chart, my 12 range, to look for an opportunity where I can find a supply setup to go short in accordance and in direction with the higher range chart. Let's move down. Now we're down here and looking at the lower chart, okay, the 12 range, okay. This is that higher probability, that high probability supply zone that I showed you on the 60 range, okay, right there. All we're going to do is just wait for the market to just retrace back to the zone. Once it retraces to the zone, I'm either trying to find a supply setup to where there's a supply zone resting on the inside of the zone here. So I'm looking for basically a zone within a zone confluence. Okay, this is the higher range zone. Okay, always start there to mark that up. Then as the market's retracing back to the zone, I'm looking on the inside of the larger zone off from the 60 range chart to see if there is going to be a 12 range or lower range chart zone of supply that I could trade from. In this case here, there's not. All right. So when there's not one that is present, on the inside of the larger zone from the higher chart. Then I'll wait for the market to start to shift back to the downside and set me up a nice area of supply as if we start moving to the downside, breaking structure, right? So here you see it tapped the higher range zone. We start to make lows, lower highs, lows, lower highs, but we're not getting any pullbacks, to look for opportunity to go short at this point, right? Then the market comes down and makes another low. So now we're in between a major high and a major low on the lower range chart, all right? The market then does what? Makes highs, higher lows, higher highs back to the upside, right? As you can see here, highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, and then higher highs back to the upside. So we got a little channel back to the upside. I'm waiting to see if the market's going to break below this area here because we're bearish on the higher range chart. And I'm looking to see if they're going to take out this low right here. When the market comes down and it takes this low out, this is my supply area on the lower range chart that I'm going to mark up, and it's high probability to take a trade going back down short, aiming for the lows right here that it made, which is this low I'm going to show you right here, below 67, 33, or 32. Let's take a look. All right. Right there, this area right here. So this is a pullback on the lower range 12 range chart. Okay. Pulls back to supply. Get the rejection. I want to go short because it took out this low right here. Again, we're looking for the market to pull back to our first zone that we mark up on the higher range chart, which is going to be a supply zone. Okay. Once it pulls back there, then we're looking for a bullish directional shift. A bearish directional shift to the downside, was setting up us a nice area of supply to trade in the same direction in which the higher range chart is moving, and that's to the downside. So we start making lower lows and lower highs. Okay, it pulls back, makes this low right here, pulls back, comes down. At this point, we haven't fully broke structure to the downside, but right here we did. It broke below this low here, pulls back to this key area of supply. I'm going short from that area. Now, if you got in a trade here, it taps into the zone on the 12 range chart. Once it taps the zone, I'm getting in on the break of that candle, or that candle that closes bearish wise to the downside. Right there is 67.42, and I'm going to aim for them to come down and take these lows here out. So the low is going to rest right here at 67.33. As you see, they came down and broke that low right there. So if you got into the trade at 67.42 and took it down when they broke below this area of structure right here at 33, you could have picked yourself up some nice points going back to the downside, roughly about 10 points right there. That's a 10-point scalp on a lower range chart, which is the 12 range. And that is very, 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 very doable. Now, they also set up another setup or another opportunity right after that. Let me show you. As you can see here, they did do what? They didn't start making higher highs and higher lows back to the upside. Now, this is a low right here, okay? Major low. They come back down. They break this area of structure coming lower. This is the low. And then they pull back to this key area of supply right here, okay? Look for an opportunity to go short from there. They kind of, bounce around here. But again, they pull back to this key area of supply. Why is it a high probability supply zone on the 12 range? Because we have aggressive selling with these candles coming to the downside. It's high probability. Comes back, retraces, tests that zone. I'm aiming for the lows right here to be tested again. So imagine getting to this trade. Let's say you got into the trade here at 67.35, and taking it back down to fill these gaps coming to the downside, back down here to 67.20, 15 points. Okay, so this trade here happened. You could have gotten to this trade right here, and then a few moments later, it got into this supply setup here. Two supply setups back to back, pretty much. 10 points here, pull back 15 points plus here. That's a real easy 25 points on the NASDAQ, on that day. I talk about this, even though this was in the Asian session, I'm just showing you an example of what to look for when it comes to the actual strategy. But again, if we look at in reference to the volume profile, when it pulled back like right here, look where we're at. To this supply zone, we're at above a high volume area right here in this little low volume node here, okay? I'm looking to go short from there. That gives me confluence, okay, to go short as well in accordance with the strategy using supply and demand, trading, these multi-chart confluence setups, okay? Same thing here. It pulls back. Now, this was a little bit more trickier, but it is testing a low volume node right here on the on the volume profile. Supply area, look for an opportunity to go short, okay? Above the high volume area to go short, back down to the downside. That's the tool I use. The volume profile is a very good tool. And that's pretty much all I use when I trade, guys. I don't need a bunch of MACDs and SMAs and EMAs, stochastics, RSIs. You don't need all that. The more you train yourself on really paying attention to pure price action, looking at structure to identify the directional movements in which direction you should be trading, that's what you should be focusing in on, because that's going to be what's going to help you really in your trading career to make money and become successful and profitable in trading the future markets every single day. I trade the ES. I'm looking at that. I trade the NASDAQ futures. I look at gold futures, but you can trade the micros for anyone out there who has a smaller size account. Compounding is the key and the goal. It should be your goal when trading these accounts. I want to share that with you guys. Now, we have a Discord community. It's free. If you want to join us, the link is down in the description portion of the video. There, on the Discord, I post my trades that I take on the trading floor myself as well as other traders. But what I do is that I break my trades down. So there's another community, okay, which is a private community for people who want to become elite and ultra elite supporters. I know you may be saying, well, let me say this right now. It's very inexpensive, guys. I don't have a trading course or a mentorship program. The videos I create and post within the private community for those that want to become an elite supporter, okay, for $6.99. There are tons of trade breakdown videos where I walk you through setup after setup after setup trades I actually take. Because the more you visualize your eyes on the setups that I take, and the ones that I'm posting over in the Discord, and then I go back and break them down for the private community of elite and ultra elite supporters, you slowly start to grasp the actual the steps, the strategy as a whole, the purpose and the reason why I have taken these trades. My mindset. I'm walking you through the setups themselves, the breakdowns. Okay, we're talking about market structure, price action, stop loss placement, profit target areas. That's important so that when you are back testing and forward testing, the strategy yourself and trying to find setups, this is what's going to help you out. It should help you out. Now, I can't guarantee anything to anyone out there because everyone's style or way or psychology or their habits of trading could be different from the next person, okay? But I'm trying to share with you something that's very simplistic, and please try to make your trading as simple as possible. But again, video content, the visual aspect of that, being able to see someone discuss and break things down as detailed as I do, is what has helped so many people on this platform, on this channel here. And it's very inexpensive. I'm talking about to become an elite supporter of the channel, only $6.99 a month. And there you have all the trade breakdown videos where I go from video to video to video, breaking down every trade pretty much I take. Plus you get the video playlist and a great video surrounding market structure. That's a bonus right there for anyone that's struggling with that concept. Now, if you want to become an ultra elite supporter, you get everything I just mentioned plus my live recorded trading sessions. All right. There's a link down in the description portion of the video. It's titled Elite or Ultra Elite Supporter. Okay. Click on that. You will see a few tiers pop up. Click on either the Elite or the Ultra Elite. Okay. Tier. And it's going to let you know the price. You'll see the price. It'll let you know the perks and rewards you receive by becoming a supportive member, a part of the community, and supporting the channel. But you receive so many perks and rewards in reference to that. Okay, that's where the blueprint, the cornerstone to the strategy and how I trade is really broken down, and it's helped a lot of people who are part of the Discord community. Again, the link is down in the description portion of the video. Click on it. It's titled Elite and Ultra Elite Supporters membership. And then if you want to become a Discord member, the link is down in the description portion of the video as well. Okay, outside of that, I just want to share that with you guys today. The only tool that I pretty much use that helps me and become profitable and successful in accordance with the strategy and how I trade here on this channel. Okay. Now, if you haven't taken time to click on the subscribe button, what are you waiting for? It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. Click that sub button down below right now. Make sure to click the bell as soon as you do so to turn your post notifications on so you do not miss any of the uploaded content. And last but not least, if you found some value in today's video, please drop me a thumbs up, a like on the video. I appreciate it, guys. Take care. I hope everyone has a fabulous weekend.